Do you have a wish list? I know that a lot of us have a wish list. I also have one. Or should I say, I used to have one until things changed recently. I started thinking about wish lists differently, not because the wish lists are bad, but because I usually take my time to carefully think about these things before I write them down, and I pray about them, and I trust God for them, and when I get them, I now tick them off. So I started thinking deeply of how I take my time to curate my wish list, how I trust God for the things that I put down in that list, and I wait for His own timing and His will concerning that thing. Sometimes it's really hard waiting on God for those things, but then I put my trust in Him. I trust that, His timing is best for me, and so I wait prayerfully in faith till I get the things that I've put down on the list. It is now a list of requests I make prayerfully and in faith. And so I told myself, this is no more just a wish list. This is now a faith list, because I can't invest this much time, energy, in prayer, in faith, in trust in God, and I just call it a wish list. It's more than a wish, right? I know most times we say, but it's just a list we make, and then maybe during our birthdays or special days, we share with our friends. If they want to get us something, this list helps to guide them on what to get for us. I totally understand that. But then I also know that it is God who moves men for our sake. It is God who moves the hearts of people to favor us, to gift us. So even if this list is curated and shared with friends and other people, it is still God who is the source. He is still the one who touches these people's hearts to gift us. So it doesn't make it less of a faith list. Also, the mindset of having a faith list instead of a wish list makes me more intentional with my requests. They are no more just fleeting things. I sit down and I carefully think about them. I meditate on if these things are God's will for me, and then I make a list for myself, for people connected to me, and for the body of Christ in general. I have a ton of things on my faith list I'm currently trusting God for. I think I would share some in the video, and I would not share some as well. I have them written in my journals. I have them on my phone, on my notes app, on Google Keep, anywhere I just get to put something down. I have them there. I also used to have them on my prayer wall, but I currently do not live alone anymore. So I took them down from my prayer wall. I'll tell you something. When I look at the requests on my faith list across the different places I've written them in, I realize that there's a consistency in my request. This is why I think that just leaving your request in your mind is not enough. You should take a step further and journal it. So I realized the consistency in my request. I also realized my motive for these things that I am asking or trusting God for. I also realize that as time goes on, my motives change. Right? As I continue to grow in my faith, I realize that some things are no more necessary, and I go look at my faith list and I strike them out. I've also realized that it helps me to continuously evaluate myself. Am I really growing? Is this what God really wants for me? Sometimes as I grow, I realize that some things are not necessary anymore. Some prayers that I made in the flesh, or some requests that I made in the flesh, when I've grown, I go back and look at it, I'm like, oh, no, 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 this is not it. And I check it out, I take it out. And so I realize also how far I have come with God. So it's one way that I used to evaluate my growth in the faith. Imagine that I had nothing to look back to. This is why I think that you should also have a faith list. Another thing this faith list helps me to realize is if my requests are aligned with God's will for my life per time or the direction that God is taking me. I know the path that God has carved out for me. I may not have the full picture yet, but I know where God is taking me. And so when I look at my request, I look at where God is taking me. I ask myself, are you really aligned or you're just walking in the flesh? Right? So this really helps me, and I'm able to reroute. I'm able to, change some things on the list and say, oh, God is taking me here, but right now this request I have is not aligned with God's will for me. So I'm going to give you an example. Um, for this season of my life, for the longest that I've known, God doesn't want me outside my current location right now. So I know that a lot of people are traveling to, you know, different locations, relocating for different reasons, mostly work and for a better life. And God has not led me to do that. In fact, I think sometime in 2018 when I started considering that and, looking for opportunities, I heard God tell me explicitly, this part is not for you. So that's one thing, that's an example. Now imagine that this is the part I know God has carved for me, and then in my faith list, I have, let me be able to get a job, to move abroad, probably a certain kind of job that I want in my field, so I can move abroad. But I know that that's not the path God is taking me. So this helps me align. When I look at the request, I compare with the picture of my life that God has given me. And if they do not align, I change the request. Another thing having this faith list helps me with is that it helps me remember what to pray for and how to pray for them. Don't get me wrong, most times I don't go into the place of prayer with prayer requests, right? There are times I also pray about things that I want God to do for me. So when I look at the list, I know what to pray for and how to pray. Now I ask God what He wants me to do to be able to align myself with what He's doing in my life in this season and for these things. It could be taking a step, probably apply for a certain role, reach out to someone and speak with them or anything, because I know that God is not going to just send something straight from heaven. Most times the answers to our requests are in the things that the Lord asked us to do. So when I look at this request, I ask God, so what will you have me do? I also want to put out this disclaimer. I'm not doing those things because I want to get this request from God, but I always ask. And if He gives me an instruction or not, because of the request, I will still do what He will have me do. So here are a few things that are on my faith list I'm currently trusting God for. One of them is marriage. I'm waiting on God for a spouse and a blissful marriage. There's also monetization of this YouTube channel, this one, and there's another one I post videos on career. I'm also trusting God for provision for my master's degree program, provision for my new apartment I'm currently working on getting, and a couple of other things I don't think is necessary to mention here, but I hope you get it. In as much as I have a couple of things on my faith list that I am still trusting God for, there are many more that I have checked out that God has done for me. I'll give some testimonies. The first is I used to find it difficult to see clearly from far. So even when I sit in church at the front seat, I still cannot see the screen in front of me. I can't see the words. But right now I see clearly. I don't need to even sit right in front. I used to struggle with my sleep pattern. I had very poor sleep quality, and I'm no more struggling with that. And that just came by God giving me an instruction to make some lifestyle changes. That's why I say sometimes you need to ask Him what you need to do. I've had many financial favors that were on my faith list. I've received answers for those who are connected to me, my friends, my family, loved ones. the body of Christ in general. So this list also keeps me reminded of God's faithfulness, and it keeps me grateful always. It helps me stay in the mindset that even if He doesn't do the things that I'm currently trusting Him for, He's done more than a lot of what is pending. And if He doesn't do it, He's still a good Father. I don't love Him just because of what He has done for me or what He will do for me. I love Him because of who He is. So I have this mindset. If my earthly father today says no to a request I made of him, I will not be offended. I will trust the fact that he knows better because he has a track record of being a good and responsible father. Now think about this with God. He is a good God, He's a responsible father, He's more faithful than your earthly father. And so, if He says no to the request that I made, because He has a track record of being faithful, of being good, of being consistent in my life, I know that He knows best for me. And so I'm okay. I'm not offended. If He says, no, this is not for you, I'm not giving it to you, that's fine. I hope this sparks something in you as much as it did to me. Maybe it's time to get a faith list. Who knows what God has in there for you? If you're going to get a faith list, let me know in the comments so I can cheer you on. Thank you for watching this video up till now. My name is Veronica-Zoe Obi, and I'm an intercessor. On this channel, I share all things Christian lifestyle, faith, prayer, and fellowship. If you're new here, welcome. I love you. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video, leave a comment, and share with your community. You don't know who it might just bless. I understand that some of us may not have a community to join our faith group for now. I encourage you to have one. But if you need someone to join faith with you in prayer, you can use the link in the description to share anonymously, and I will add you to my prayer card. Alright, thank you so much and see you on the next video. I love you. Shalom.